Well, holy shit. I actually managed to do it. After procrastinating for ages, I finally managed to produce an audiobook version of the Lunatic Fringe book. It's currently available on all Amazon sites, audible.com, and shortly on iTunes. And if you're the page-turning type, it's also, of course, still available in Kindle form, paperback, and hardback on Amazon. 10 hours and 10 years worth of Blue Skies Magazine's articles, all available to you right fucking now, including a few author's notes and even an apology or two. Enjoy.
In a world.
Mate, hold up. We said we're done with the serious intros.
Who said?
Well, we did.
I don't remember that.
Well, I said it, and you're me, so, you know.
Well, I don't care. In a world.
Hey, I told you. We're keeping it light.
You do it on your own then.
Well, technically, I already am. So, anyway. Fuck yeah. Pure wild flight. Get it down ya. How good? Visit nzaerosports.com.
I get to do the next one.
Well, obviously, you moron. We both do.
Of course, I absolutely love the NZ Aerosports business model. I mean, come on. One glance at an Icarus fuck yeah sticker and you know it lines up perfectly with the fucking pilot mentality. But outside their wonderful use of colorful language and a great company vibe, there's a long list of reasons to say NZ Aerosports fuck yeah. NZ Aerosports blows me away right out of the gate as a canopy manufacturer with a bold offer. They give you 10 jumps on your brand new nylon to decide if you want to keep it, swap it out, or even return it for a refund. I mean, seriously, how incredible is that? That's like getting halfway through a prom and deciding you prefer the slightly racier date that goes down faster. Seriously, they do that. If you're not madly in love with your new canopy after 10 jumps, they'll let you swap it out for another size or model, or even get your money back. And the range of canopies they've got? Man, they've got a style canopy to fit every jumper and every situation with models you know and trust, like the Sapphire 3, the perfect choice for the beginner or intermediate canopy pilot. The Crossfire 3, when you're ready to kick it up that elliptical notch. The JFX 2, if you're looking to up your new swoop game. The Leia as the workhorse and dirt water dirt beast. Or the Petra. The Petra cranks out crazy power and is nothing short of a record breaker. But hey, it's not always about speed either. Take the Kraken. Built as a low pack volume canopy specifically with wingsuiting in mind, she gives you all the performance you're looking for with the reliability you need that'll have you itching for that next formation, rodeo, or puffy cloud. So the equipment is top of the line kick-ass stuff as you already know, but how about the team? Well, the customer service gang is there to sort you out whenever you need them. Maddie and Beto are always there to help with Jen holding the reins. They're available for you at sales@nzaerosports.com, and they've got a kick-ass live chat tool on the website if you're wanting to hit someone up right away. These are the crew you're going to want to talk to get those custom orders in. With the stock nylon, once you know what you want, they'll have that shit on a FedEx truck as soon as the credit card machine says approved and get you in the air in no time. For your custom orders, you'll be able to get a time frame for building and shipping when you design it, so get to it. And demos. They've got demos in the US available from their partner Rock Sky Market. The whole US demo fleet is there with Sapphire 3, Crossfire 3, Kraken, JFX2, and Leia canopies in a range of sizes. They also offer student and tandem demos in the US. Bottom line, every step of the way, NZ Aerosports is there to get you what you need, and I personally couldn't be happier to be teamed up with them here on Lunatic Fringe. And now, time to get started with Lunatic Fringe Into the Void, brought to you proudly by NZ Aerosports. Fuck yeah!
Coming straight from the cockpit, it's another episode of Lunatic Fringe with the fucking pilot.
Ready, set, go! Back in the can for another edition of Lunatic Fringe Into the Void. Again, the magic of the internet. And again, another face I haven't seen in a really fucking long time. Man, who the fuck are you and what do you do?
Well, my name is Shawn, and right now I'm a flight dispatcher for a regional airline called Pascan Aviation, and we fly out of Montreal, and we do most of the east coast of Quebec and a little bit of a northern part of Quebec, and that's pretty much it.
Nice.
Uh, Pilot in waiting, so hopefully in the next 4 months, 5 months, I should be in a Saab 340.
Oh, nice.
Yes, carrying passengers around and getting my ATPL on its way.
Dude, that's badass. First off, I don't think you and I have seen each other. I think we determined pre-podcast almost 8 years since the last time I saw you.
Yeah, for
And
sure.
the last time I saw you, you were doing an amazing impression of two people, either Jesus or the dude from The Big Lebowski. So your look has changed a little bit because, we could have nailed you up on a cross or given you what was it? What did he drink? A White Russian.
A White Russian, that's right. In fact, it's really funny. Like the summer before I left Dubai, there was a pajama party here, not too far from where I'm working currently, at a drop zone, and I was like, I got the hair. Let me go pull out a wardrobe, and I was like, I'm gonna change this color to brown to try and match Big Lebowski's uh, overcoat. And I was like, okay, I got the hair. Let me get that goatee going. And then, unfortunately, I did not have all the mix to do the White Russian, but I showed up and just as you said, it was either you're Big Lebowski or you're Jesus. And most people who saw Big Lebowski, the movie, they're like, you're that guy. And everyone else who did not see it, they're just like, you're Jesus. I was like, okay, so.
All right, Jesus in a bathrobe.
Yeah.
Nice. So people are wondering why the fuck we're talking about Jesus or the Big Lebowski. We're going to talk a bit about skydiving, obviously. But I always like to ask my guests how they got started in anything extreme, not necessarily just jumping, but what led you towards wanting to jump out of an airplane?
I think that starts off with me being in the cadets with my brother and some friends. For like the U.S. doesn't really have cadets, right?
No, not really.
No.
Well,
Okay.
yeah, not
Okay.
like that.
So right. So basically, it's for adolescents who wish to learn about the military system. You'll do a few things military with the military, but you won't necessarily go to the point where they're going to train you to be a soldier. You'll learn how to march. You'll do some crafts, some outdoor stuff.
Right.
And one of the opportunities that I ended up getting was how to jump out of a plane, out of a C-130.
Really?
And yeah.
And this was at what age?
At that time, I was 16.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Oh, right.
At that time, I was 16. So my brother ended up going first, and hence airborne shirt.
Airborne shirt. Yeah. Awesome.
So my brother went there first. Unfortunately, he did not pass. And so my friend and I were just like, okay, well, why don't we give it a try? And I was like, yeah, I'm in. We both graduated. He was a year ahead of me. I was the following year. And 3 years later, he's like, how about we go and get our skydiving license? I was like, I'm not doing anything right now. All I'm doing is working.
Right.
Let's go have some fun.
Nice.
And we went up. We found this one spot. It's called Mile High Parachuting, and it's not the one in Colorado. It's just outside of Ottawa. We hit it up, and I was young, full of cash, and I was like, I'm gonna drop how much money you want for this course, and I'll just do it. Did it in a weekend because it was a little small local drop zone, and pretty much got hooked right away. It's funny because at the same year, I actually had joined the military as a reservist, and I did the summer gig, did some training with them, with the military, and I was like, I need to make this decision. Now I understand that in the military you can still be a parachutist, uh, but I was like, I'd rather have a lot more fun in my life. Not to say that being in the military isn't or cannot be fun. Just I was like, I need to find something that's really going to drive me to go beyond. And I think this was the way to do it. So,
Sure.
um,
I mean, I suppose the military can have some aspects of fun, but let's face it, it's a very different kind of fun.
yes,
You know,
yes.
and it's very regimented at all. I wanted to ask, by the way, was your brother pissed off when you passed the course and he didn't?
Uh, I not with me. I think he was pissed with himself. Because so
This is an
if
older
any,
older brother.
yeah, he's 3 years older than me. I only have one.
Oh, ouch.
Uh, yeah. So on the mock tower, you have to. Well, I'm pretty certain that in the U.S. military, when they do their jump course, they probably have to learn how to do winter jumps, most likely.
I would imagine.
Yeah. So the snowshoe rackets, we have them. We actually have to jump with the snowshoe rackets to mimic jumping out in winter warfare. And during the mock tower, my brother's snowshoes, the back end sticks out about like this much,
Right.
and he clipped it. He clipped the side of the mock tower and threw him in a flip. And they said, "Okay, we obviously cannot allow you to pass, even though you were like literally on the last jump,
Ay.
because this would have caused you to flip and probably entangle you in your parachute, and anything can happen." So
Oh,
unfortunately,
he must have been so mad.
yeah, he wasn't very happy.
And then to have
But
his younger brother by 3 years come and do it afterwards just kind of had to sting a little.
yeah, I actually had a hard time in the landing part, because we have um these swings. I forget what we call them, but we have these swings, and they're meant to simulate you pendulating and then hitting the ground.
Right.
And I always had a tendency to like separate my legs before hitting the ground. And my sergeant was like drilling into me that like, you do that, you're gonna break your legs. And I was like, I need to find a way to break that habit.
Sure.
So he stuck his gloves between my boots, and he said, I want you to hold that glove between your boots the entire way when we're doing these drills. On the test, I can't give them to you. And I was like, okay, fine, fair enough. So I practice. And then I guess that was a key moment of like, oh, just imagine that there's a pair of gloves that you have to hold with your boots.
It's kind of funny, right? It's those goofy little things that sometimes really good instructors do that seems a little off the wall that stick with you fucking forever.
Yeah.
It really is. I mean, that it sounds to me like that was a pretty awesome instructor.
Very much. In fact, he was also the instructor for my buddy the year before. And I mean, I don't know how I got the nickname, but I was called Hammer.
There could be a lot of reasons
Like,
for that.
yeah, yeah. But in the end, like it was so good. Loved the experience. I got 3 Hercules jumps and 2 Casa jumps.
So your first 5 jumps were all massive
Military.
aircraft.
Yeah,
I mean, that's pretty cool.
it's wild.
And now what did you do your AFF course in? You said it was a small drop zone. So what, a 182, 206?
Exactly that. I actually that's that combo. It was actually a 205, but
I
same
mean,
thing.
shit, that's you go from a 130 to a little jungle gym in the sky with a rubber band on the front of it.
That's right.
I mean, they're workhorses, and I've got hundreds of Cessna jumps. They're a lot of fun, but was that weird or scary going to something like a Cessna?
No, not at all. In fact, I guess we just had such good weather. I didn't feel any turbulence. I didn't feel any jostile.
No.
The pilot was solid. Like still a good buddy of mine, and I'm trying to get in with Jazz Aviation. That's where he flies, and I'm just like, you got to push my resume, dude. You got to push it.
It's funny. Before we get too far off topic, it's really cool to see so many people that I knew as skydivers that have transitioned into aviation in one way or another. I mean, it kind of
Yes.
seems to have sucked us all in, because I did the same thing. I was a pro skydiver for many, many years before I started flying. And it just seemed like such a natural progression, which I'm sure it did to you as well.
It it felt natural in the sense that uh, some of the terminology was there. I understood without doing the calculations. I understood the weight and balance.
Mm.
I understood that like there's uh there's stall speeds that can happen.
Sure.
Um, the then when you're thinking of a parachute, obviously if you look from a profile perspective, it's the exact same shape as a wing,
Sure.
as an airplane wing, and so you're like, well, this is a very familiar feeling. Uh, there is lift.
Mm.
There is
I mean,
the
there's all.
airflow that's
Oh yeah, lift and glide and all that stuff. You're flaring at the bottom of everything, so it's its own little foldable airplane. Airplane, it really is.
yes, yeah, and so when I brought that into my me learning to fly the plane, my instructors were good at this, and I was like, well, the concepts are very familiar to me, and so I just took what I knew and apply it.
Mm.
And then it was the other things that I didn't know about, like the coordination of using a aileron and your rudder to make that perfect turn. Like, okay, so if the ball goes one way, well, you got to step on that ball in order to come back coordinated. So those I didn't really understood.
Sure.
I understood each individual parts, but
Sure.
to make that combination, that was a tricky part. So
Comes pretty quickly though, doesn't it? I mean, the coordination portion of learning to fly an airplane, I'd like to think 2 or 3 flights into it, you start to understand the concept. And by the time you've got a good 10 flights as a student, it feels natural. You start to feel when you're unbalanced.
yes. I know they say that like you're inside the cockpit, and if you go into some orientation that you're not familiar, like it,
Mm.
I guess maybe I've been so used to as a skydiver to be in such uh a different orientation than upright,
Sure.
that I know that, well, I'm tilted,
Sure.
and I know that sometimes you don't always supposed to have those sensations, but I guess my body learned enough
Sure.
of it.
Sure.
So I was like, hey, I don't feel upright. Oh, look out. Oh, exactly. I wasn't upright.
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
I was.
I always got a kick
So
out of the unusual attitude practice, and I know that there are a couple of pilots that I know that when they were learning, that used to give them a lot of trouble, and it didn't really give me any trouble. And for anybody that doesn't fly, and practicing unusual attitudes is you cover your eyes or look down, look anywhere but outside the aircraft, while your instructor sitting in the other seat makes banks and turns and climbs and dips all over the place to disorient you, and then
yes.
sets it in a certain orientation, and you have to fix it by adjusting pitch, bank, and power to get back to stable flight. And that could throw some people off, but I think you're right. I think skydiving absolutely would, if not allow you to recognize by sensation, it would allow you to be comfortable with being in something other than straight and level.
That's right. That's right.
Yeah, for sure. Now, before we get too far ahead on the flying stuff, you were a kid with a lot of money, which right there is just weird. Like, what were you doing for a living to make that money?
I was a professional mover. So throughout high school, college, I was moving, and so staying at my dad's place,
Nice.
just banking money. Um, the
What
pays
did
was good.
what did Dad think when you decided to start throwing it all into skydiving, which is just a money pit?
Uh, I don't think he understood the how expensive the sport was. I think it was just more concern about like, well, what happens if the parachute doesn't open? And
Right.
so after doing the course, that's when I could explain to him, well, there's a lot of, safety levels.
Right.
You don't just throw yourself out. Like, first of all, in the course, you've got two instructors. Then once you understand some of the safety fundamentals, well, let's talk about the gear. You have two very perfectly good parachute. One is the main, the other one's the reserve. And should you become unconscious, should something happens, you can't open your main. Well, we have this little electronic device, the AAD, that's just going to do what it's designed to do, and that's to open the reserve.
Mm.
So also being as a rigger, I understand the process, the deployment process, the packing
Sure.
method. Yeah, like
You know,
everything that
I don't know about you, but it was kind of funny. It was easier for me to explain to my family how safe skydiving was than it was to explain to them how much less safe being the pilot was. They didn't get it. I'm like, no, you guys don't understand. If I lose a wing on the airplane, I don't have a spare
oh, you're
wing to throw out there.
no, you don't. You're gone. Yep.
You know, so it was very difficult. I mean, they got it, but I'm like, no, there's so much more that can go wrong with an airplane than with a parachute system. The parachute system is so simple, in an amazing, ingenious way, right? I mean, all these years and all these test dummies that have done these amazing things and put together modern skydiving systems have just done an incredible job. So explaining that over, aircraft flying, it was hard to have to go, oh, guys, I know you feel good that I'm not jumping full time anymore, but here's the reality. Like, it's a lot more likely that your son gets killed in a crash of an airplane than a parachute.
Yes. Yeah. Uh, it's remarkable. So one day I was doing a walk around, uh, and the simplest thing, right? You're doing your walk around, and you've got uh, the wires, the locking wires,
Yeah,
and sometimes those are so critical that like if it's broken, you have to snag it,
yeah.
right? Because all those vibration could loosen that nut off, and then there goes your wheel.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
So
It's the
yeah,
little things, right? Well, and it's pre-flight, right? It's gear check, gear check, gear check. The only difference is the gear check with an airplane's a fuckload bigger.
yes,
So now you and I initially met in Dubai.
yes.
And Dubai is not the usual place you find a Canadian kid that started skydiving and such. How the hell did you end up in, of all places, the Middle East?
So, uh, originally my goal was to try and find a job in Europe. I had no idea about the Middle East. Did not even know that Dubai had a drop zone. All I knew was I want to go to Europe. And I knew that Spain offered jump year round. So I was like, okay, let me try and send my resume out to Skydive in Puri Brava.
Mm.
So I sent it out and I got no replies. And my aunt and uncle, they have a villa in Greece. And they're like, well, if you're not going to be doing anything and you're still trying to look for a job in Europe, why don't you come to Greece, on the island, enjoy your time, and if you get a call, then it'll be easier for you to go to Spain, work as a packer, than to fly out of, say, Montreal or Toronto and then go to Europe.
Sure.
And I thought, hey, that's a fantastic idea. I get to see a different country, and why not? The Mediterranean Sea, right? Like,
Right.
let's do it. So I get there, I spent 2 months, didn't hear anything. My uncle was like, well, I need to go back to Dubai. So why don't you again come to Dubai with us? You're more than welcome to stay. And if you ever get a call, it'll be easier still to go from Dubai to Spain. I said, sure, why not?
Another
No,
country.
I can't lose. Yeah, I can't lose. It just so happened that before I left Canada to go to Greece, Canpera had put out a publication with the Team Evolution's cover, like they're doing a formation over top of Dubai, but I mean, it just looked like any other airport,
Sure.
and it didn't seem like there was any facilities to showcase that it was a drop zone. It
Sure.
literally just looked sand. And I was like, well, maybe it was just a one-off, but hey, let's look to see if there's any skydiving related there. So skydive in Dubai. And what do you know? Skydive Dubai was actually a thing. So I submitted my resume, and I was talking to Omar's wife, forget her name, but she's like, well, hey, come on down, let's have a chat, and if you're just looking to pack, we can probably work something out.
Sure.
So I met up with Alan, and he's like, do you want to freelance pack? And I was like, sure. So for 2 months I was freelance packing, and had such a blast. Showed my enthusiasm for work, good work ethics, and after 2 months, he's like, "Well, do you want a job?" And I was like, "Hell yeah, this is fantastic." I'm in. I just said, all I got to do is just go back home. Let me close down like some bank accounts, make sure that I've got nothing to pay back the government, and then send me the visa, send me a time, send me a date, and let's do it.
Nice.
Took a little bit longer, but in November of that year, finally showed up and started working as a ground controller.
Yeah, and that's when you're and my paths crossed not too long after that, because that was, what year was that?
It was the 2000 IPC. Now Alan was actually ground controller for that competition. But after the competition, because he told me that I needed to shadow him to try and understand the whole concept of being a ground controller.
Sure.
It's not something we actually have in Canada.
Right.
And the term ground controller is actually for a completely different thing.
Sure.
It's weird. So after the DIPC, after Christmas, New Year's, we sat down. We actually started to work a lot. I had Ernesto show me a little bit more of the ropes as well, and then yeah. So for like a year and a half, I was just ground controlling you guys around, and then we went to Jordan, and
Yeah, man.
that was
Yeah.
another fun experience.
You got to have some adventures, and it was to explain how they did the ground controlling in Dubai and why they did the ground controlling to the level that they did. Dubai is like operating a really busy drop zone in the middle of Central Park. Like as far as air traffic goes, it's the worst fucking place on the planet for a drop zone, because it's two international airports and an Air Force base all right there. Not to mention, a quarter mile away, you've got buildings that go up to 1,200 feet. A lot of them. So the ground controller, of course, was needed to keep us and the separation in the aircraft and any aircraft that might be flying by, the helicopters with all the VIPs around. So you guys were really necessary there in Dubai.
Yeah, and that was a lot of fun, coordinating with, like, knowing, okay, oh, helicopters on this way. Yeah, just please stay next to the buildings. We've got jumpers on the way down.
Right. And
I
then, of course,
remember,
you had to listen to us pilots bitch all the time.
but it was fun. It kept me entertained because while one is up and the other one's on the ground, like I got nothing else to do,
Yep.
right? Um, and but it's so much fun because like, well, one, it's kind of funny. Um, that's with you guys. That's how I learned some of my radio communication skills.
Sure.
And as much as there was a lot of bitching and not so many curse words, but you knew that you use a specific word to relay that curse word, right?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
That's
Yeah.
right. And
The
you're
meaning
like,
always comes across.
that's right. You're like, ah, okay, nice. So the back and forth communication again, that also happened with some of the cadets because that you have to learn some of the radio stuff. So there was a familiarity
Sure.
with that, and so
It was
it was awesome.
it used to be a lot of fun because we'd get to joke around a lot as well. And as you know, Dana would be on the radio quite often, and she'd ask, "Hey, are you going to need fuel?" And the other guy'd pipe up, "I'm going to need fuel too." And she'd come back with, "I'll take it from both of you." And just in that way, and you're hearing this stuff going, we're in the Middle East. Holy shit. We are, if any of the wrong people are listening, we're in a lot of fucking trouble. It was just innuendo and fun all the time. And you're right, we wouldn't cuss, but you still knew fuck is the word in that guy's head, even if it's not coming out of his mouth.
Yep. Yep.
That's
yeah,
awesome.
everything is recorded.
Yeah. Oh no, they know exactly what's going on. And then mix into that, of course, we as pilots had to play nice talking to air traffic control all the time.
Mm-hmm.
And then you'd get those random aircraft that are cutting through our airspace, and God only knows how important the person in that helicopter is. So you got to be nice to them too. So
I remember Stan, the helicopter pilot. He was great. He, whenever they had a chance, they'd bring the helicopter over and just be like, "Dude, you want to jump out of my helicopter just as I'm about to leave?
Yeah.
Sure, why not? Hey, Dana, let's hook this up." Okay.
Some of the opportunities, and I mean, you got to see a lot of them as well because you were there certainly during the golden era for the staff. We got to do a lot of cool shit.
Yeah. Yeah. I was like about a half to 3/4 of a year behind of the initial setup.
Yep.
And I still remember when that runway wasn't even the long one runway. It was the really short one.
Yep.
We had a sky van that actually ended up skimming the rocks as it was taken off because it took off overloaded.
Sure.
It was insane. Like,
well, that was the last time a Skyvan ever flew there, right? Because Highness was on board.
Yes.
And Highness was the one that was like, fuck that shit. We are never having this aircraft here again. And they never flew a Skyvan there for jump operations again because of that.
Yes.
I think that's also when they decided to build the long runway.
Yeah, shortly after I don't know what goes behind the scenes sometimes, but yes, that was probably the catalyst to saying like we gotta build a bigger runway.
Sure. Yeah. Well,
and
and by long runway, it's 1,800 feet. So it's not exactly a long runway. I mean, it's still it still can be challenging in challenging conditions, but it's a lot better than I want to say it was 12 or 1,300 foot dirt strip running across the landing area.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah. That was proper sketchy. So you spent about how long in Dubai?
5 years in total.
So that's a good chunk of time. I mean, you walked away from Dubai getting the whole experience.
Yes, I did. Yeah.
And where did you go from Dubai?
So from Dubai, I was like, not to say that I don't want to be in skydiving for the rest of my life, but I was like, I know that if I was to stay in skydiving at 60 years old and only having that as my career, I would probably burn myself out too much.
Sure.
I would probably say that as much as the experience is a lot to give, I personally couldn't or would find myself not being nothing to really show for
Sure.
to say my kids, like I'd like to experience a little bit more a variety of things and be like,
Sure.
well, here's my little nook of my time in this experience and then this experience and then this one, and then from each one of them I can give that to my kids
Sure.
and be like, okay, now that I've given you some stuff, you get to choose however you want to go about it,
Sure. Sure. Big
as
time.
opposed to if I only stick with one and being like, well, that's all I can give you.
Right.
Well,
Right.
I'd rather try to expand some of that knowledge and be like, well, you can go into skydiving.
Sure.
This can happen. You want to be a pilot? Do that too.
Sure.
Um,
Well, let me ask, when you were in Dubai, because you basically did ground control and you did rigging there as well, yeah?
I did. Yeah. Yeah.
So you did those two gigs, but that couldn't, at the end of 5 years, being ground controller is not particularly fulfilling or engaging. I mean, there's got to be a high burnout on doing ground control.
Yes. So after the turning point between ground control and rigging was actually when I had my skydiving accident in 2012. Um, that was it was during one of the world record attempts for biggest formation in Chicago.
Yep.
And I recall vividly that I was trying to attempt a 270, and I had done some upper air work back in Dubai. They were good. I was being looked after. Everyone was very happy with what I was doing. But I never took into consideration the altitude change. And so the density altitude was now very different.
Sure.
It was also very hot in Chicago, and just flying Sabre 2 135 in Dubai and immediately changing to Chicago,
Sure.
I didn't know what was going on. So
Sure.
eventually I did this 270, and the visuals, the feedback inputs that I was getting with the parachute, everything was so unfamiliar that I ended up doing a high-speed stall on the canopy and ended up compressing my back and shattering it.
Ouch.
Yeah. So after all of that, amazing. It as much as it's a very uncool experience, it still has a level of amazing of like just what the body ended up experiencing.
Sure.
And how I was able to recover and then move on.
Sure.
And getting back into the sport.
Oh,
that
the human body is incredibly resilient. The shit that we've done to ourselves, it's ridiculous.
Yeah.
So how long was the rehab? And well, first off, what did you do? What did you have done to repair your back?
Well, so I ended up compressing my L3 vertebrae, which ended up shattering completely. There are two parts to the vertebrae. You've got the trunk, and then you've got the wings. And the wings, as my physician was telling me, was that between the trunk and the wings, you've got your spinal cord that goes through it. And the wings ended up shattering into millions and millions of pieces. The trunk, where it has the discs, was able to hold more of it together. And then what they ended up doing is they fused my L4 was the one that shattered. They fused L3 and L5 together. So I have pins and rods. And so that part of my back is not flexible anymore.
Sure.
The rehab was the moment they got me out of surgery. That same day, they're like, okay, let's go to rehab. Let's get you walking. And I was like, well, either I'm really high on drugs, which I totally was.
Sure.
But are you sure that that's the wisest decision? I
Right.
mean, can I get even like just 1 day of recuperation?
Right.
And they immediately said no, based on the level of injury I sustained, not only to my bones, but to the spinal cord. Because of all of those shattered pieces, they actually lodged themselves in my spinal cord and
Oh,
started
Jesus.
cutting nerves. Uh, the the surgeon literally took every piece of bone out and then started massaging by hand, by fingers, my spinal cord and nerve endings just to make sure that they're nice and round again. So immediately the rehab had it to start to regenerate those connections
Sure.
to make sure that the nerves can start to regrow in order so for me not to lose all of my mobility, because
Sure.
I'm waking up and I'm like, well, my head is fine, my upper body's fine, but for the love of God, I can't move my legs.
Oof. That's
So I was
freaky.
like, yeah. But they're like, no, you will be able to move your legs, but we need to get you in rehab right now. The sooner the recovery, the better you're off. So I was like, I don't really have much of a choice.
Sure.
You've stuck me in this wheelchair. let's roll on to the rehab.
See, I would have been like, all right, I'll do the fucking rehab, but I want more of the drugs. I'd like to be really high for all of this, please.
Yeah. Total rehab, at least within the hospital environment, it was 3 to 4 weeks in the States. Then another 2 to 3 weeks in a hospital by my place, slash rehab. Then it was okay. Now we can loosen it up a little bit. Every week, maybe twice a week, just come on by. You can drive again, which is fantastic. So no, you're good. I mean, you'll have your cane with you, and I picked out as I was really into House MD, the TV show, and I
Yeah,
was like, okay, this guy always has really badass canes. I need to try and find a badass cane myself.
yeah. Dude,
So
I mean, hey, you make the best of a bad situation, right?
that's right.
Now,
Uh,
you've gone through that kind of rehab, though. You've busted your back. At one point, you are sitting there trying to move your own legs and not succeeding. You get to the point where you're on the happy side of rehab and decide you're going to still be a skydiver. What was that decision like?
uh,
Was there even a decision, or were you always just, as soon as I'm good, I'm jumping again?
as someone who, still has to think logically and rationally about like, well, I just got into a serious accident. Uh, First, let me consult my surgeon, my physician, and be like, okay, based on these images, how serious my back is, what is the likelihood of me being able to carry on skydiving? Because I mean, I'm having a lot of fun, and I know that people have injured themselves to the point where it's not just once, not necessarily just twice, but 3 and 4 times, and they are continuing jumping.
Yep.
What can I do? Obviously, his legal advice is no, don't jump. But when he left, his assistant was there, and he's like, he did a really fantastic job on you. Uh, if your recovery comes back to the point where you're able to walk without any assistant, I can see you being able to jump again for sure. So at
Well,
least that gave me hope that like, okay, well, now I know my goal. My
sure.
goal is to make sure that my rehab is so good that I can start jumping again.
Nice. Nice. Well, and of course, the funny part is if you start jumping again and you get in another accident, the one part you can guarantee is going to be fine is the shit that he fixed.
Yeah. For
That
sure.
part's gonna be fine.
Unless you're you who ended up breaking metal
Yeah.
from
Yeah, I'm still the only person on record as having broken a titanium disc with their spine. Yeah. Yeah.
just amazing.
Yeah.
Now I need to get to that. I don't want to damage myself even more, but if
Yeah.
I can pull that off just like what you did, that'd be hilarious.
Well, I remember talking to the doc, who was a bit dumbfounded that we were looking at what we were looking at and this broken disc, and he was asking himself, he's all, I've never seen this before. I'm not sure how this would happen. And I'm like, well, I'm not fucking Wolverine, so I have no idea, but let's figure it out. So yeah, that was not a great reason to have a second surgery, for sure. Now, how did all this transition into to you? I mean, you became a very active jumper again.
Yes.
So you jumped quite a lot, and then somehow during all of this, you transitioned into full-blown aviation, doing what you're doing now, and then aiming towards being a pilot. How did that all come about?
Pilot was the last thing really on my mind. Before even making the full transition to Dubai, I actually wanted to be an air traffic controller.
Crazy.
I was having some difficulty passing the online test. I they all they said they're looking for was high school diploma.
Yeah.
I have my high school diploma. Oh, we offer in-house training. Okay, teach me how to become an air traffic controller. But I guess they were looking for some personality,
Sure.
very specific to the job. So after 5 times of trying to apply, didn't really get too much out of it. So I was
Sure.
like, okay, well, what else can I do in aviation? And I think that's when I was spoken to Ollie, who flies for Fly Emirates,
Mm.
and he said you could be a flight dispatcher, and I was like, oh, that's my phone. I'll just ignore it.
Sure. Sure. No worries.
uh,
A
I
dispatcher's
was like, okay.
a dispatcher's an interesting gig.
Yes. So when he talked to me about it, he's like, "Well, you're basically the prep work for a pilot before he does any of his actual flying in the airlines." And I was like, "That sounds cool. You get to fly the routes, plan it, observe weather, and all of these are basically some of the things that I would do as a ground controller.
Sure.
I check the weather. Now, okay, I don't plan the routes because you guys do all of that stuff, but the involvement of, hey, Dean, here's what you have. You've got this on board. You've got your fuel, cool. The organizational part was really attractive, and I when I left Dubai, I went in search for a course to become a flight dispatcher, and did the course. It was very progressive. Went for the tests with Transport Canada, got all of that done. So I started applying, but it didn't really pan out, and nothing was catching. And so I was like, okay, well, if that's not happening, I need to start maybe thinking, what happens if I was to go back to school?
Right.
So I went back into science, looking forward to study astrophysics. I know it's way out there, but I love once I understood the language of math, I was like, this is a lot of fun.
Mm.
Like high school math, all you want to do is just play and have fun and
Sure.
all of this. But like as you mature, you're like, oh, now you can start into widening your thought process.
Sure.
And like math is so much fun. Now I'm far from being the best, but I love how you can solve a problem by using math.
Sure.
It's amazing.
Sure.
I love it. So back in school and finding myself working with this guy, a buddy of mine, and he's like, so you're a skydiver, do you know any flight schools around? Just so happens someone has suggested to me, well, actually, she's like, hey, yeah, I'm a pilot. I took a course here, and I was like, really? Well, so hold on. We're making this connection here. While you were in college in flight school, that same year, I was actually in photography at that same school. That's amazing. Like, what, what a, what a, you
It's a
know,
small world.
small world. So I said to my buddy, I was like, well, Algonquin College has the flight school opportunity. So go and have fun. That's where you're gonna go. Gets all the information. He comes back and he says there is a global shortage of pilots of just um over 500,000.
Mm,
And I was like, really? This could be a wicked opportunity.
sure.
Um and being like, let's follow the path of aviation. I couldn't get into air traffic controller. No one was hiring dispatchers, but there's this many people in pilots, a
Yeah.
shortage.
Yeah.
Well, why not?
Yeah.
It's a physical world. Flying is very physical.
Oh yeah.
I love it as much as when skydiving is very physical. And once you learn and know how to fly planes, it's like riding a bicycle.
Sure.
It's like driving a car. You can parallel your thoughts, right? So you're driving along and you're still doing all of your observation. It's so second nature, and I like that too. So I
Sure.
was like, okay, let's give it a try. Went for the orientation. Loved it, and I was like, hey, Dad, are you willing to help me uh become a pilot?
Sure.
And he's like, okay, well, what are the opportunities after school? And I was like, well, pilots can make in the upwards of over 100,000.
Yeah.
Oh, damn. Okay. What happens for retirement? Can you do that? Yeah, they have great benefits, and good retirement packages. So I
Sure.
was like, yeah, okay, let's do it. Let's go to the bank, see if we can get a loan out, and then next
Off.
thing I knew, I was in a course, Algonquin College program for 2 years, and just put all of my focus into flying and
Which
learning
is
so
awesome.
much.
You know,
It's amazing.
it's great too, going into it in the direction that you are going. It's funny because there is a quite a pilot shortage, but I find at my level, because all of my flying is over the same airport, up and down VFR, even though I'm an airline transport pilot, and even though I've got more than 14,000 hours, you would find a job quicker than me, because all of the stuff that you're learning is geared specifically towards flying in the system, right? And
Yes, yeah.
all of my flying, I mean, I might as well just be barnstorming. You know, it's it's as far as an airline is concerned, as soon as they see jump pilot, they go, oh, so this guy's just a fucking doing aerobatics in planes you're not supposed to do aerobatics in. Okay, fuck this guy. So it's kind of funny, but it's also very cool though that you are able to make an attempt to go this direction in aviation or that direction in aviation and go into flying where they're going to groom you to be exactly what you need to be to have a
Yes.
really long career in aviation, which is fucking fantastic.
Yes. So with that, um, with what you just said, right now, like I said, I'm working for a regional airline as a flight dispatcher. I didn't even think I was going to be there, and yet I find myself doing something that I had a hard time trying to get to.
Sure.
I'm in a pilot in waiting position right now. So, uh, essentially, you do other jobs with the company, and as an opportunity opens up, you apply, they bring you in, interview, a sim evaluation, and then once they've got that hole for you, they're gonna be like, okay, the next day you stop doing dispatching, you're in a plane.
Nice.
So I'm really I've already passed the interview. I've done the sim. The connection that I'm making here is that as a jump pilot, it's all stick and rudder.
Sure.
And I did years with Skydive Toronto. It's a great place to learn the little 182.
Sure.
And I really started to nailing, even though it's just a 182, I started nailing my landings. And I had a better understanding of my control of power, pitch equals performance.
Sure.
And when it came to the semival, they're like, oh, my modeling light just went out.
It's all good.
I didn't really do very well in the semival, but when I did have the engine failure, I still had to shoot an approach.
Sure.
And it turns out it had to be an ILS approach. So as you get closer to the airport, that needle deflection goes by very fast.
Oh, yeah.
But because I had made all of those takes off and landings,
Sure.
I was literally one engine, and each needle, it was perfect all the way through on
Gotta
a
love
one
it.
engine in a King Air simulation. And my the chief pilot was like, later on when we debrief, he's like, okay, well, we didn't get the hold, you didn't get that part, but your takeoff was solid, your flying skills was there, like you
Sure.
barely moved deviation from your altitude, like it was solid. You got that nailed down, so your flying is really good. But what really impressed me the most is how accurate you were with an engine failure all the way down to the touchdown zone. And I was like, not everyone can really do that.
No.
But you stuck it because, wait, you're a jump pilot? Well,
Yeah.
That's where you get all of your landings. It's like,
well, I've taken a few airline guys on ride-alongs over the years in the Otter, and a couple of things become apparent. They're very used to checklists, and they're very used to this gets done at that time, and there's times and markers and all of this. And on one particular ride, we were flying up, and I was turning on to jump run, just turning on the green light at 13,000 where we needed to be. And as we start the descent, the jump pilot that's sitting, or the airline guy that's sitting next to me is like, so, what calculations were you using and what markers to get right there? Cause like you were right there. And I'm like, oh fuck, we dropped them. He's like, what? I don't fucking know how we got on jump run. I wasn't paying attention. I'm like, I look at the needles, everything's the way it's supposed to be. I'm like, I do this. I have more takeoffs and landings in one day as a Skydive Dubai or a Chicagoland jump pilot than most airline guys do in a month, probably by quite a lot. And that's every day. I mean, I think I've logged something like 40,000 takeoffs and landings. So as far as the stick and rudder stuff goes, you're right. Jump pilots have got that down. For me personally, where I find it difficult as a jump pilot is getting into the system side of things. So holds and all that stuff. Now, luckily, the last few years that I was in Dubai, we were doing biannual sim training. So we were going to Canada in the sim, as well as to LaGuardia to do sim training for the Sherpa. So I was getting a lot of sim training in the system, in IFR conditions, shooting single engine approaches and all that stuff. And it's very nice from my angle to know I can do all that stuff. You can teach a stick and rudder pilot how to fly in the system, but it's a lot more difficult to teach a system pilot how to fly stick and rudder.
right.
Not that they're not amazing pilots. It's just if you yank an engine on a Twin Otter on me and say, put it down on that little strip down there, I'm not going to think twice about it. It's going on that strip. The airline guy's looking for his checklist and you know.
Absolutely.
So there's definitely being able to have that stick and rudder experience before you go the direction that you're going now is invaluable, because they can teach you how to fly within the air traffic system, and they can teach you how to hit those holds and the ILS approaches and all that stuff, and all that'll come relatively easily for you. But the stick and rudder stuff, that just takes time and flying. You just got to do it. Now, usually when we get to this point in the podcast, I ask people for a little bit of advice, and I want to do the same with you. I want to ask your advice for people that are just thinking about getting started in jumping, because we've got a lot of low time or people thinking about skydiving that listen to the podcast. I want you to give advice to old fucks like me that might be getting a little bit burned out and wondering how to keep it fresh. And I also want you to give advice to those people that may be suffering through an injury and wondering how to think about skydiving moving forward.
Right. Okay. I'd say for the up and coming jumpers, when I was teaching at Skydive Toronto as a tandem instructor coach, you could very much see the same personality of what I was, is like, okay, like feed me as much information as possible, because I want to get to the very top very quick and this and that.
Sure.
I think it's the saying goes a long way. Slow it down and be methodic about what you want to do, because the next thing you know, you're going to be up there so fast by starting very slow.
Yeah.
And you're gonna wondering, like, where did the time go? It'll be so quick. So slow it down. Listen to your coaches and your instructors. They have amazing knowledge, and don't always stick to one person. Definitely pick someone else's brain on different perspective, and enjoy the ride.
Sure.
It's so good. It's so good.
How about for us old fuckers?
Yeah. So what I found myself when transitioning from, hey, I'm going to be becoming a pilot, I had to learn to step back from the sport. Never gave up jumping, but I'm very happy to say that, look, we need to sometimes take more time for old people to recover from a weekend of jumping. Well, by all means, do it.
Sure.
If you have to take a year off, because physically jumping is very demanding.
Sure.
It takes a lot of energy. I remember the drop zone owner at Mile High. He's like, I don't really have that many jumps. Yeah, I've got about 5,000, 6,000. But once in a while, I just didn't jump for a year.
Sure.
Because I wanted to make sure that I had the longevity to go well into 60, 70 years old.
Sure.
The drop zone owner at Skydive Toronto, same thing. He's pushing 73. Now he doesn't jump anymore. He flies his planes, but he's like, take your time, and as long as you do those, you know, if you can push the 50 jumps in a summer's time,
sure,
just make sure that those 50 jumps are absolutely meaningful and joyful.
Yeah, quality over quantity, right?
Quality over, yeah.
That's awesome.
And that's how I'm starting to learn that perspective of my skydiving career.
Sure.
Since becoming a pilot, being like, I'm having such quality jumps as a coach, teaching someone who is flailing all over the place.
Sure.
It's funny to watch, and you're just like, okay.
Yeah.
Now, I didn't do anything. I'm okay just box man all the way down, but I got to see something,
Oh,
and now
sure.
I like it's for so take your time. If you're young, gung ho, do as much as you want, but slow it down
Sure.
because it will be quick when you get there.
Sure.
Um, and for the old folks, man, just don't give up. Just don't give up.
Now, what about people that are battling through an injury, whether it be minor or more serious? How should they be approaching it? I mean, yours was pretty damn serious.
Yes, it's a mental game. It really is. As my rehab was progressing, I had it to actually change m- some of the thoughts that I had to go through and be like, okay, well, physically you're getting better,
Mm,
but mentally, like my entire recovery before like the moment I hit the ground to my first jump back was 14 months.
mm,
So I was on the ground and working rehab for 14 months before I physically made that jump again. And um, that's when I learned to continue pushing my boundaries, but pulling back and saying like, think think twice. Okay, when you do woodworking, you always measure twice before you cut because if you measure it wrong and you cut, you're
it's done.
like, it's done. So I had to measure my thoughts carefully about like, yeah, let's plan this a little bit better.
Sure.
So as you're recovering, plan better.
Sure.
Be like, well, if it takes me this amount of time to recover and you know change all your thoughts to being like more rational, well, what happens if you were to take twice as long for that same
Sure.
thought that you're having? Now you're going to, in my perspective, I think that that's where you're going to recover a lot faster
Sure.
because the physical part is one thing. You can't always, well, you can control the physical aspect of recovering, but
Right.
the mental, uh it's a very unique thing.
Sure. Well, I mean, it's a big game
The
too,
brain
right?
is, yeah,
It's difficult to go through a trauma like that and have part of yourself desperately motivated to go back and do the exact same thing that put you in this position, and then another part of you going, how fucking stupid are you? You want to
yeah,
keep doing this. And it really does boil down to desire and your passion for the sport and your willingness to play it a little smarter next time, play it a little
that's
safer, and of course, be willing to still accept that risk,
yeah.
which is an
So
interesting thing, right?
that's why I took more time mentally preparing. Like every time I do a jump, well, I know that when I'm ready to land, I look at my surroundings a lot more
Sure,
than what I was before.
sure,
Sure, I have a smaller parachute now and everything comes a lot quicker, but it was that slow and steadiness after the injury of being like, oh, yeah, now I need to,
it's a hell of a
you
reality
know,
check, right?
that's right, that's right. So
You're like,
slow
I,
it down.
I could have learned that lesson with a twisted ankle, god damn it. Well,
Yeah,
look, I'll tell you what, man. I cannot wish you more luck in your career in aviation. It's always super cool to talk to people that are just getting started in it. And I've loved seeing so many of skydiving brothers and sisters turn towards aviation as well, whether it's flying or some other form. So I can't tell you how happy I am for you, and can't wait to follow along how good it gets. And I hopefully one day I'm sitting in the back and look up and see the Big Lebowski sitting up in the captain's seat flying me around, man.
I think I can pull it off. I'm probably gonna have a hard time pulling it off when I'm trying to get the job, but once I get the job, it's probably gonna be a lot more of like letting that hair go and
Oh, yeah.
potentially
Oh, yeah.
once you're in, it's fine.
I'd love to see it, man. Well, I'll tell you what, Shawn, I cannot thank you enough for taking the time to sit down. It's been a long time since we got to catch up, and it's been great talking to you.
Yeah, thank you so much, man. It was a lot of fun, and let's do it again because I actually have questions I want to ask you. It's almost as if I need to reverse the roles here and ask you the Lunatic Fringe questions, you know?
Hell yeah, man. We'll do a round 2 down the road for sure.
All right, sounds
All
good,
right, brother.
man.
Take it easy.
Take care. You too.
Bye. And there you have it. Another episode of Lunatic Fringe Into the Void, brought to you as always by, and say it with me, fuck yeah, NZ Aerosports. Head to nzaerosports.com. By Pussfoot. That's right, head to pussfoot.com, the extreme sports collective, and check out everything they've got to offer. By summitparachutesystems.com. Jarrett Martin and the family cranking out amazing pilot rigs, as well as incredible rigging courses. And now joining the Lunatic team, it's the one and only Tony Suits. You know him, you love him. Head to tonysuit.com. Check out all the amazing standards, as well as the new incredible signature line they've got going on. And as for us, the Lunatic Fringe is now on YouTube. That's right, you're going to have the chance to put faces to the audio by heading to youtube.com and looking up the Lunatic Fringe podcast. It's easy. Hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, check out all the amazing videos from the previous guests that we've had, as well as new and upcoming interviews on video. As always, I am the fucking pilot. Head to thefuckingpilot.net or theprincesspilot.com. Thanks for joining. We'll see you next time around.
Damn.